Welcome to this read aloud of the upcoming release of Daring Mr. Darcy. Australian authors Carolyn Miller and Meredith Reski have delved into the classic favourite Pride and Prejudice and have retold it as a contemporary rom-com. This engaging story with laugh-out-loud moments has been submitted to the My Funny Valentine Sweet Clean Romance box set and is now available for pre-order on your favourite platform for just 99 cents. Sit back and enjoy this excerpt read by Meredith Reski, taken from Elissa's point of view in Daring Mr. Darcy.
You're joking. I don't know why Gary Wickley would try to jest, but what else could I say to his long and pathetic tale of woe? I'm completely serious. Gary has all of us hanging on his every word. Liam Darcy thinks he is above the law and can treat people however he wishes, just because he has the money and power to do so. He's watching us. Lydia gives a silly, nervous giggle. I hope he doesn't come over here and start a fight. Oh, surely not. Mum is so gullible. Even I doubt that Liam Darcy is the sort of person to put on a public display that would have the whole room watching. On the other hand, the memory of last night's inelegant fiasco, ending with me bowling another set of dancers over like 10 pins, has me entertaining the idea of fisticuffs between Darcy and Wickley. I smile at the prospect of Darcy eating dirt. Don't be silly, Lydia. Dad's caution is in his usual mellow tone, and it is doubtful that either Lydia or Mum have heard him. I think there must be some misunderstanding. Jane can't help but play the diplomat. It's ingrained in her nature. Matt speaks very highly of Liam Darcy. Yes, well, he would. Gary's tone retains the contempt he's had all along. Matt and his brother Caleb are friends with the Darcys. You say that like it is a fault in the Kennedys. I can't help challenging Gary. He seems very quick to feed off the misery he allegedly lives at the hands of the supposed tyrant. No, the Kennedys are good people, and they don't really know Darcy like I do. How well do you know him? I ask. I've worked at their ranch since junior high, after school, for an allowance. Well, there you see. That sounds like he has a kind heart. Jane sits back with a smile, obviously relieved. No, that was his grandfather who hired me. Darcy Senior was a truly great man. His grandson, however... Who is the girl with him? I'm curious. Liam is attentive to the pretty young woman who's sitting with her back to us. I'd noticed her last night as well. That's his sister Georgia. She and I used to be good friends until Darcy stepped in and broke up our friendship. Why would he do that? Lydia is buying Gary's sorry story. I'm still reserving my opinion. He's a control freak. Georgia is a great kid, but he won't let her out of the house alone. She doesn't have a life of her own. That's awful, Lydia said. Surely you must have misunderstood things. Jane again. She can't bear to have anyone be a bad guy. I wish I had misunderstood, but I know only too well. He's controlling and dishonest. How so, young man? How is Liam Darcy dishonest? Dad has finally found enough volume in his voice to be heard. He'd rather buy a private jet than pay what he owes me, and I'm not so flush with cash that I can afford to let it go. A private jet? Now my hackles are raised. I've spent years studying and working in the area of environment and sustainability, and a private jet is the very opposite of minding one's carbon footprint. He flies all over the place for who knows what reason. Business? Dad is not sold on Gary's story. So he says, but if he was doing so well in business, he could afford to pay me what's owed. I can't help but glance in the direction of the Darcys. Liam keeps staring in my direction. What is that look in his eye? Whatever it is, I'm not impressed. Fancy owning a private jet. He probably also has 1 million cows who rip up the land and release methane gas into the atmosphere. Money doesn't impress me, buddy. No, sir, it does not. The discussion at our table is disturbed by a server coming up with the cheque. I'll get this. Gary is certainly a generous sort of person. He's doing his best to charm Dad, with limited success. I know Dad. He's not easily charmed. Mum and Lydia, on the other hand, are Gary's devoted groupies, as evidenced by their dreamy, drooling expressions. The server is only away a couple of minutes and she's back. She's trying to speak quietly to Gary, but we can all hear. I'm sorry, sir, but this card has been declined. What? Gary is all offended again. Try it again. I'm sorry, sir. I've tried it 3 times. This is ridiculous, you see? He glares in Liam's direction. If that man would pay me what he owes, this sort of thing wouldn't happen. Dad surreptitiously gives his credit card to the girl. Don't forget to include a tip, Gary says. What? Mum sits straight up and looks alarmed. A tip, 20% should cover it. Gary waves the girl away. A tip? What on earth do you mean by that? Mum, I caution quietly. She's only been in the country a few days and not used to this custom. Most Australians are outraged when they're not expecting it. Why should I pay 20% more? The prices are on the menu. I'll pay what I owe. Mum, stop. The wait staff don't get the same sort of wages like they do in Australia. Well, the manager should pay them properly and leave the customers alone. If they say it's $15 on the menu, then it should be $15. If they want it to be $18, then put that price on the menu. It's ridiculous. For the first time in my life, I actually agree with my mother, and I'm impressed that she can calculate 20% without a pencil and paper. But this is America, and as they say, when in Rome, you just have to get used to the system. I admit it took me a while, but I've stopped hyperventilating over the surprise of being slugged an extra hidden 20%. Realising just how little American servers in the hospitality industry get paid has soothed my indignation. Maybe, after 7 months, I'm getting used to living in America. We get up and start wrapping up with coats and scarves. Will you say hello to Liam as you go past? Lydia has little tact, and I watch for Gary's reaction to the question. I don't have a problem with him, but if he wants to talk, he can apologise to me first. Gary waves Lydia forward, then drops back close enough to speak directly to me. I hope you'll be able to find some time to go out for coffee while you're here. I'd love to get to know you more. My ego and my good sense get up and start a fight. He's just schmoozed his way through a date with Lydia, and before she's even out the door, he's switched targets. I'm tempted to be flattered, but I can't help but take into consideration the presumption of offering to pay and then passing it off to Dad without a second thought. I know I don't like Liam Darcy, but I'm not sure I'm willing to run into the arms of Gary Wickley either. Probably best I concentrate on enjoying our family time before I need to return to study in Seattle. I'm standing right by the Darcy table as the rest of the family are exiting the restaurant, and I can't help stealing another glance, and I'm met with the most wonderful chocolate brown eyes I've ever seen. He's offering me a tentative smile. My traitorous face smiles back. I hope you had a nice lunch. Liam's body language and tones seem so genuine in contrast to the last hour and a half of listening to Gary's whinging and moaning. I nod to Liam and walk briskly out into the freezing winter air. That icy slap in the face is just what I need. I almost had a moment of emotional connection with an environmental vandal. Whew, that was close.